This past weekend, Jackson Prep's theater department put on the production of Phantom of the Opera, being one of only 2 schools in the country this year that has been allowed to do so. But after the makeups and the costumes, the set crews and the volunteers, the directors, and film crew, you can't have a musical without an orchestra. But there was something different about this orchestra, you'll find, and you'll find it amongst the violins.
I would also like to recognize a very special individual in our orchestra pit. Our concertmaster most recently left his position as the concertmaster of the Bolshoi Theater Symphony in Moscow. You are no doubt aware of the tragic conflict occurring in Ukraine. I will simply share that he declared asylum and arrived in the United States just 2 weeks ago.
We asked him and his good friend, and the conductor of this orchestra, Tim Walker, to join us for an interview. I first asked Mr. Ismailov why he decided to play the violin.
My parents is musicians too, and they are just showed me what do you want to play. Of course we are musicians. I saw this small instrument when I was 5. And this is good. It was good for me, but the case of violin, it was much better. I go with this case everywhere. And this reason, yes, I play violin, yeah.
He went on to explain where he started playing professionally in Russia.
I was 24, I think so. This is first my legal work. I was a concertmaster of the state capella. 2 or 3 years I worked in this place. And after I played an audition to Mariinsky. I was 26. And in Mariinsky only one person is Valery Gergiev. This very famous conductor around the world. This was very interesting to work with him. He's really a genius conductor. In Moscow, in Bolshoi Theater, it's a very big building, very nice, and with big history.
I have conducted Broadway musicals for over 10 years. And have done some for other schools here in town. And Miss Hart said, I think you should do Phantom. And she told Miss Waterloo, and they met with me, and I said, okay, I'll do Phantom.
The two men met years ago at an international music conference in Europe, with Mr. Walker representing the United States and Mr. Ismailov representing Russia.
Over the years since Stas and I have met, we would talk, hey, maybe one day you'll come to the U.S.
Yeah.
And he says, yes, one day, maybe when I'm done with Bolshoi, I will come to the U.S. and see what God has for me there. Mm-hmm. And we had these conversations periodically as we would talk.
The two then told me how they decided to leave the country.
But as things worsened in Russia, these talks became more serious, and we prayed and asked God to give us wisdom if this was the right time.
Mr. Ismailov explained how in Russia all men of military age are already on a call list when the country is mobilized, and he and his brother were to be called up soon.
Military mobilization in Russia. We are not on the first, we are in second wave. And we just waiting for some news about this. No, please, the word not for us. Please, we are musicians.
So when you claim asylum, which is what they did,
Mm-hmm.
to come into the country,
Yeah.
the government offers you protection. Although they're in the United States, they still have a long journey ahead of them to get asylum granted. And then once that is done, then there's other legal steps towards becoming a U.S. citizen. We were so worried about them flying out of Russia. Like, would they get questioned?
Yeah.
I asked my wife, I was like, what do you think? And she said, yes, we do it now. And I call Stas, and he calls his brother, and I say, we will buy the tickets today. And just like that, we bought tickets. No one asked them anything.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
We're confident that God has allowed this to happen. He has been with us. We can see from Russia to Mexico to the United States, him with us all the way. If you ever seen Indiana Jones and the quest for the Holy Grail, he looks down and it's like the Grand Canyon beneath him. And he read the book again, it says, take a step of faith. And I don't know if you've seen this movie, but he puts his foot out and closes his eyes, and he puts his foot down. And when he does over the canyon, there's something there to catch his foot. And he bent down and picked up some sand and threw it across. And once he took that step of faith and through the sand, he could see the pathway. This has been how we have felt that we are on this journey like this. We don't know what God has next.